This right here is the back hatch of my wife's car, and as you can see, there is no room whatsoever in this little thing. One of the biggest challenges to making good bass inside of a car is having enough space. Space is often the constraining factor. Let me show you what I mean right here. I've got a 12-inch subwoofer. This is a DD Audio. This is the one with that cool metal grill. And once you put this 12-inch sub back here, that's it. You're done. There's not room for anything else. The trunk is basically useless at this point. Back behind me is my old truck. And for years I ran a sealed box underneath the seat with a pair of tins. That wasn't enough for me. I had to take drastic measures and I had to pull my back seat out to get the bass I wanted. And that's not something a lot of people are going to sacrifice and be willing to do. So what do you do if you don't have any space and you want some really good bass? Well, you need this right over here. Try something like this. This is a downfiring subwoofer from Digital Designs, and as you can see, it's got a very compact design, and there's plenty of room here on top of the box for you to put your groceries. So now you have bass. But will you have any bass? So let's put it over here in the truck where my test gear's at, and let's give it a try. But first, let's crack open the box and I'll show you what this thing is all about. Looking at the model number on the side, LE stands for loaded enclosure. The S stands for slim 612.1. That's one 12-inch 600 watt subwoofer. The D2 tells you this is a dual 2 ohm subwoofer. And when you crack open the box, you find that inside the box there is another box. DD did a really good job on the packaging. There's some sturdy corrugated cardboard and lots of foam. When you crack open the inner box, the first thing that jumps out is a DD Audio sticker and this nice metal nameplate on the enclosure. The box itself looks fantastic with that bright red logo on the top, and that metal nameplate just adds a nice little touch.
Very distinctive style.
So it looks to be a shallow mount subwoofer. The sub itself has been recessed slightly into the baffle. And you can see here and here are some feet, so you can aim this down. There's no law that says you have to. You can fire it up, you can fire it forward, backwards, whatever. Okay, over here on the side, we have something interesting. We've got two terminals. And what I assume is going on is that this one is hooked to one voice coil and this one is hooked to the other. So let's verify. It's giving us a reading of 2.2, 2.3. It's going to bounce around a bit as I talk. It's actually moving the cone and changing the impedance. Let's try the other one. And that one's giving us the exact same reading. So we have a pair of 2 ohm voice coils. The odds are you're probably going to wire it in parallel and hook it up to a 600 watt monoblock. This enclosure is intended for a vehicle that's short on space, so you want to find a nice compact amp to do the job. As luck would have it, DD Audio makes one that's exactly 600 watts RMS. I tested that amp a little while back. I'll make sure to give you a link to that either up here somewhere or down below the video. The next thing I'm going to do is install some jumpers across those terminals and connect the DATs to run a sweep to find the resonant frequency. And so to make a sweep in DATs, it's really easy. All you have to do is click on impedance sweep and all right, we have a result. That gives us a frequency of about 54 hertz, which is exactly what you should expect from a small sealed enclosure. If you want to get that resonance lower, you need a bigger box. And that is one of the compromises that you get whenever you use a small enclosure. Let's go ahead and take it out to the truck and hook it up for some testing. After that, we're going to pop the subwoofer out of the box. You're going to want to stick around for that. This box has a surprise inside. All right, I'm all set up in the truck. Here is what I've got going on. Got Room EQ Wizard hooked up through the HDMI on the radio. Got a measurement microphone over here on the headrest, and I'm going to do some sweeps. Level check, okay. So now we start the sweep and we'll get our measurement. First thing I want to point out is I got this big dip right here at 65 hertz. That dip has something to do with the microphone position. It's a null inside the vehicle. What we have is exactly what we would expect with a sealed subwoofer outside of this blip, which is a side effect of the environment. I can reposition the microphone and make it go away. Exactly what we would expect. Slow, gentle slope off, just like you would expect with a sealed enclosure. All right, that's cool. Let's get some SPL measurements. We're going to start with a 20 hertz tone and then go up by 10 hertz at a time. The idea here is to crank the volume till we get just about 600 watts. We've got 655 watts. It's taken a pounding. We're not getting anything on the meter because it is, of course, Too quiet? My meter is going to start reading at 120 dB, so I didn't get a reading. One thing that I did notice, you can rewind it and listen to it for yourself. With a cheap subwoofer, you oftentimes get a lot of mechanical noise when you play 20 hertz. 20 hertz is right at the lower threshold for normal human hearing. And if you've got a dirty, noisy subwoofer, you'll hear the subwoofer itself as opposed to hearing the test tone. Now, this sounded very clean. Rewind the clip and listen. All you're going to hear is that faint, low frequency rumble and no other noise. Now let's go with 30 hertz. And while we're doing that, I want to say thank you to Blake from Digital Designs for sending this out to review. And I want to say thank you to all of my patrons over on Patreon, with a bonus shout out to $25 and up patrons, Jonathan, Joaquin, JD America, Timothy, and Bo. If you enjoy this kind of content, head on over to patreon.com/DIY audio guy and join the Patreon team. We did not get a reading on the meter. Again, too quiet. I've definitely heated it up. I can smell the coil, probably abusing it a little bit too much. It did hit 30 hertz just fine, just not terribly loud because of course it is a single 12 in a sealed enclosure. That's what you expect with a single 12 in a sealed enclosure. We ran it up to 583 watts. That got us a 123.9 on the meter. I ran it up to 325 at 50 hertz and it started to bottom out. I could hear the coil slapping. We did, however, get 128.2 dB. The way this would work in the real world is you would hook it up to a 600 watt amp. That's a 600 watt amp at 1 ohm power rating, and that 600 watt amp would never pump out 325 watts at 5.6 ohms. So even though it started to bottom out with 325 watts, that doesn't mean it's not a 600 watt subwoofer. For a sealed subwoofer, 50 hertz, 128 dB with just a few hundred watts, I think that's pretty good. I think what I'm going to do now is grab a different camera angle and maybe get some cool shots of this thing flexing. I made the mistake of filming all that with the vehicle running, so the audio wasn't clean, so I didn't include a lot of clips. The bass itself was clean. The sub gave a nice low end bump to the rest of the system. Now, it wasn't as loud or as impactful as a larger enclosure, but if a large enclosure would fit your needs, you wouldn't be looking at something like this. A really good test track is I Don't Care Anymore by Phil Collins. You're looking for that nice solid kick when the drums hit, and it's a great way to test the integration of your subwoofer and your mid bass, and this sub performed flawlessly. Let's pop the subwoofer out and see what's going on inside of the enclosure. One thing I did notice, the screws are machine screws, not wood screws. That means there are T-nuts inside of the enclosure, a small detail that adds to the cost and the overall quality of the enclosure. And that's something I've noticed reviewing and testing these DD Audio products. This is a premium brand and you're going to get some premium extra touches. Wow, that is a really cool shallow subwoofer. At the bottom, you got a big pole vent, some perimeter venting, direct woven tinsel leads. No speaker push terminals on the speaker itself. So I've tinkered with a few thin subwoofers. They're not all the same. Digital Designs clearly went above and beyond the Call of Duty on this one. And this shallow subwoofer in this box is definitely a premium shallow subwoofer. Some shallow subwoofers are just subwoofers with small baskets. This is the real deal. I get now why they put push terminals on the side of the box. It's because of the direct leads on the subwoofers. So if you want to rewire it from 1 ohm up to 4 ohm, you've got the ability to do that with those push terminals on the side of the box. The box itself is MDF. Inside the box, the speaker wire is wrapped with foam. There's a window brace, and it appears to be a double baffle. I think it's a fantastic subwoofer for what it is, but what you've got to keep in mind is that it's a shallow mount subwoofer in a box with very little airspace. A subwoofer in a big box like this right here is going to outperform something in a small box like that one over there all the time, no matter what. You can't get around that. But if you don't have room for the big subwoofer box, you're going to use the small subwoofer box. You're kind of boxed into it. And if that's the situation you're in, I would not hesitate to buy a subwoofer like this right here. In fact, what I would do is I would buy this and I would pair it with this amp right here. I'm Justin, this is the DIY Audio Guy YouTube channel, and I will see you on the next adventure.